starting my speech in 3, 2, 1. Now, I want you to imagine an 18-year-old student in Indonesia where they studied hard, stayed up late preparing for exams, and became the first person in their family to ever get into college. Of course, their parents are proud of them, but at the same time, they are worried. Well, first of all, they sell food, work long shifts, or depend on unstable income. To them, university feels like a dream, but at the same time, it feels like a burden. Now, the state would say something like, "We'll help you go to university, but keep in mind that you are borrowing. You will repay us later." At first, this sounds fair. This sounds modern. This sounds entitling. But our question for today is not whether students need help. They absolutely do. So our question is, should access to education come with debt? We say no. Because education should create freedom, not because someone's first financial obligation in their adult life. So my first argument is that student loans shift responsibility from the state to individuals. Society benefits when more people become teachers, doctors, engineers, researchers, and informed citizens. So when higher education becomes expensive, the solution shouldn't be borrow money first and pay it back later. That doesn't remove the problem entirely, it just postpones it. Now students would start calculating things like, can I afford this major? Can I take this internship? Can I pursue teaching, social work, or public service, or do I need the highest salary possible immediately? And this burden falls hardest simply not only on wealthy students, but on those who already have the least. The second we oppose is because Indonesia's reality makes student loans dangerous. This model assumes graduates will quickly find stable jobs and earn enough to repay. But many Indonesian graduates don't enter employment immediately. Some work finance, some work in informal sectors, some take months or years to establish financial stability. So what happens? You graduate, and instead of celebrating your degree, you immediately start thinking of when does repayment begin? What if I can't pay? What if my family still depends on me? For students from privileged backgrounds, debt may feel manageable. But for students from vulnerable backgrounds, debt will feel like a fear. And fear changes choices. Now, I want you to start thinking that people would stop taking opportunities because of this. They would start delaying having families. They would start carrying guilt for pursuing education at all at the first place. So this is not empowerment, everyone, but this is pressure. Third, we reject the idea that student loans solve educational inequality. Because making university payable doesn't automatically make it affordable. If universities know that students can borrow, tuition costs can gradually increase because of this. Then students can borrow more, so that the next generation it will happen again. And eventually access exists only on paper, while the actual cost becomes heavier every year. Our opponents will likely say something like, but without student loans, poor students can't enter university because of that. And we agree with this problem. We just disagree with the solution. Because there are better alternatives such as expanding scholarships, improve financial aid, and target support towards students who actually need it. These policies reduce barriers without turning students into borrowers. So at the end of the debate, it is not about economics alone. It is about education shouldn't feel like signing a contract, but instead it should feel like opening a door. For those reasons, this house opposes adopting a student loan mechanism in Indonesia.